So the funny thing what happened is that in these years when I was praying and I was fasting and I was just, actually living a hidden life, suddenly there were young people asking me, could we meet for like a prayer group? Like 3 people asked me. We were, as 4 of us, we said, okay, let's have a prayer group. And the prayer group was okay, just for one evening. So like, let's have a weekend, just a youth weekend, just 4 of us. So 3 other joined us and we were 7 people for a youth weekend together. And the second evening, we hadn't prepared nothing. We just said, we have a little bit community, we sing a little bit, worship, things like that. On Saturday evening, the Holy Spirit hit with power. So there were new people, like us 3 and us 4 and 3 new people. So the 3 new people fell down in the power of the Spirit. One got just an instant release of speaking in tongues without knowing it, no teaching about it, just receiving it, and radical conversions. Like, that's interesting. Let's do it again. Okay, so we had another weekend like that, but we never wanted to plant a church or plant a youth movement, nothing. We just said, like, this was so good, let's meet again. And for the first 2 years, we didn't even call it a name. It was just like, we meet again. We don't know, maybe in some month or so. So, and after, let's say, 3 years or so, we had 100 teenagers, with radical conversions, talking about people getting off drugs. We had people healed, physical healings. We had people healed from psychological problems, really massive conversions, and a massive move of the Spirit, especially in the year 99. And the movement is, see, the funny thing is, I never intended to build something like that. Never. It was like a byproduct of the intimacy. It's a byproduct. And there was a second release of power in 99. By this time, our group was like maybe 40 people or so not big, 40 people, and we had I started to read those crazy revival guys, these books of Charles Finney and those people, and I was hungry for more of God. So we would meet for a weekend, just again 5 or 6 people, and we would fast for one weekend and pray 24 hours. Just like that, and we had a passion to see God do something. So I was so hungry. I would write in my diary, "Send us a revival or I die." I think David Brainerd said this or something like that. I like the quote, so I wrote it in my diary. I didn't die, even if revival didn't come. But after we had 2 weekends like that with this prayer and fasting going on, and then we had our next normal regional youth meeting. Like 40 people, and I was the worship leader, and we had the evening, and I've never seen something like that before. At least afterwards I've seen it maybe sometimes, but I was leading worship, and just during worship the Spirit would enter the room and doom, 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 without anybody touching them. People would just go down under the power of God without anybody touching them, with new people, with people who didn't know God. After some minutes, I was the only person standing. With my guitar. You are the last man standing. Like with the guitar and 39 resting in the Spirit. It was like, there is a power dimension connected to this prayer, which is intense. After half a year, we had doubled in size, so we had 80 people. So from this on, we had exponential growth over the next years, more and more and more and more. So out of this weekend, more weekends will come, and prayer groups formed. So a lot of our staff members from our house of prayer right now found Jesus back then in this youth movement, in this youth group actually. So, but it was really a byproduct of this, I would call it contemplative dimension. I don't know if you know the term contemplation. Actually, in the spiritual teachings of the church, it was always 2 big streams of Christian walk, which is the active and the contemplative. And basically in the West, especially in the Protestant tradition, we have lost a lot of the contemplative dimension, which is totally different, for example, from the high esteem for the contemplative life you see in the Orthodox churches, like in the East, where there's such a high value of just knowing God for himself. I I'm just talking right now to get us, to get us into the topic. I will start to be more structured, okay? Just in case you try to follow him. What is he saying? What is the topic? What is the